Project Iron is a 2D platform game with entirely hand-drawn background and character art based on the kinds of sketches and illustrations I do when I'm bored. It has multiple layers of artwork, and the player has the ability to move forwards and backwards between those different layers, which gives them a lot more flexibility for movement and exploration. And it allows for very sophisticated puzzles to be developed. I'm really fascinated by this mechanic. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out, has anything like this been done before? How do I teach the player how to use this? How do I tell the player what's in front of them versus what's behind them? These kinds of questions. And I still don't think it's quite there yet, but it's heading in a really good direction. And after watching people play test this demo, I feel pretty confident that there's something to this. I'm really fascinated by science fiction and sort of industrial feeling, and I feel like my sketches convey that. You know, this sort of like used future aesthetic to things like the first few Star Wars movies, Blade Runner. I mean, these are hugely influential, and I'm also really interested in some Japanese graphic artists, particularly Tsutomu Nihei, Daisuke Tajima, and Katsuhiro Otomo. I think they do just amazing line work. So I think that what I've created with Project Iron is kind of a blend of those influences. I'm really striving for a strong and well-defined aesthetic style and trying to marry that with the gameplay. I have all these layers of artwork that are stacked on top of each other, so I allow the player to move forward and backward in between them. I think it's really new, and a lot of there's a lot of bugs with this demo. There's some collision issues, there's some movement bugs, there's a couple areas with just completely unfinished content. I would say it's playable, it's stable enough to present. It was running for a couple weeks at a gallery show, and it never had a serious problem that was, game-breakingly broken. And people can pause, and they can check the controls, and there's tutorial pop-ups, and there's a title menu. Nobody touches it for a minute. It'll cycle back to the title menu so that someone else can give it a try. There's power-ups. The power-ups and tutorial stuff resets between runs. So there's all these features in it that I think make it very playable in its current form. It's nowhere near finished, I would say, but as a kind of a proof of concept of what this game could be, what this environment is, what this mode of interaction is, I think it's really come a long way, and people seem to really gravitate to it and get interested in it. So for me, that's been a really cool experience, is seeing how people interact with it and kind of trying to think about how I can improve it and expand on it in the future. I absolutely see potential for a full game coming out of this. It's more a matter of when will I have time to make that happen.